It's Adam Cox here. Here I am backstage at the Ultimate Entrepreneur event, and we are joined by an earlier speaker in the day, Desmond O'Connor, also known as Des O'Connor. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really looking forward to this interview.
Excellent.
It's been a great day so far.
Perfect. So tell us what you were talking about this morning, because you pretty much opened the conversations today, the presentations. Tell us what you were talking about and how you're inspiring people.
My presentation was covering branding and also, most importantly, my 14 steps on how to become an expert and speak on stage. The 14 steps ranged from how to get paid as you sleep, when you are an author, social media, how to utilize social media to get paying clients for free, how to hold launch events where you can get a lot of people in a room and deliver and sell what you're providing, and also how you can get paid as you sleep. For example, how do you create digital products for free? Because quite a lot of people are not aware of what a digital product is and how you can go about creating it. So I gave them some free information on how they can go and start to create their own MP3s, which is audio, MP4s, which are videos, and how they can start to plan that. So I advised them to go to Zoom and go to webinar, because it's the first 7 days are free. So then they can prepare that and get an idea of what it's like. And I also said to them, the first couple of takes are not going to be good. So they're already aware that's going to be like that, and how they can deliver their message internationally and getting paid as they sleep.
So give us some insight to do that, because your expertise is really about taking someone's idea, but actually giving them the tools, the skill set, the confidence, and the structure as well, to not just kind of learn another course, but actually take that and do something with it. Give us a bit of insight in terms of how you actually make that happen.
Well, it's a good question. There's two sets of people that come to me. The ones that want to know they have a lot within them and they know that they want to grow and do something of value, and yet then you get the ones that have no idea but they know they want to do something. So I get clarity on the ones that don't have an idea what they want to do. The ones that do know what they want to do, they're a lot easier. What I do is I look at their model and I can guarantee them that they can increase sales within 90 days. And the icing on the cake that I provide that no other speakers or promoters do is, not only do I help them to create them as an expert and give them lots of exposure, they speak on stage at my events where I give them massive exposure to 200 people at an event, and also I interview them on a Facebook Live as well. So that gives them lots of traction, positioning as well, expert status. They're associated with myself, and if they're one of the speakers at my event, then they're going to get massive exposure and show them what they can do with those 200 in the room, because I don't just want them to pitch and sell all day at my events, but people want value, and if people can relate to what you're sharing and they understand that you can add value to what they want, then you will get leads and clients from that as well.
Totally, yeah. Value before cost. That's one of my mantras, because sometimes people try and make it too transactional. They're trying to pitching a number, but actually create the value first, and then people kind of follow that. And in terms of your intellectual property, I'm assuming that the presence that it gives you, the positioning of being a speaker and an expert, that helps to monetize this intellectual property, because people are paying for the content and the value, not the transaction, because we can get content for free from YouTube. How is your kind of teachings enabling people to really monetize that IP?
That's a great question. It's very simple. I provide a whole complete business in a box. I help them with branding, marketing, website design, logos, even designing their business cards. The thing is, when people want to start up a new business or enhance their business, they don't know where to start. And there's not really one person that can do all of that and put them on stage to speak. I don't know anybody in the world that's providing that. And I research that because I like to get involved with things that no one else ain't really doing. And on top of that, I focus on working in women in business, but it doesn't mean that men can't attend to my event. You may be speaking at my event because I know that you provide value, but the main bulk of it is helping women to become experts and increasing their brand. So how I'm different is I help them to develop all of those things combined together, but also put them on stage and provide them with international speaking opportunities as well.
How important is authenticity when it comes to actually speaking to an audience, and how do people avoid the pitfalls of becoming a bit of a formula or a caricature? Give us some insight to that.
I would say a lot of the feedback that I get from people is that I'm authentic, real, I don't come across as arrogant, and I don't come across as salesy. When I went on stage today, the first thing I said, you can all relax, I'm not selling, and I didn't sell anything at all. If anything, I provided a free consultation with those that want a consultation with me. That way, and the feedback I got from that was being relaxed. And I'm just being myself, because when you start to be someone you're not, people are not stupid. They see through all of that, and they like to buy from people they trust. Simple as that. And once you start building that relationship, and I would say to people, if you want to, whoever you want to become, there's somebody out there that's doing what you're doing. Look at what they're doing and model them, and take, if you know 3 or 4 people that are doing a similar thing, take the 3 or 4 best elements of that person and make it your own. One of the things I avoid to do, I don't swear on stage because I just don't feel it's necessary to swear on stage. But some speakers swear to get a point across, which I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm not saying it's right. But me personally, and the reason why I say that is I had a client booked me last week. She's a Christian. And she said, I like the way that you're authentic and real. So that said to me, wow, like if I started swearing, I would have lost her. Because, Christians some of them don't really swear. Yeah. But I took that back as feedback, because even though I don't swear, she made me even more determined not to even slip up and speaking on stage. So I would say to people, just be yourself, be authentic, and be real, and focus on providing the value to the people. And I said today in the presentation, understand what your clients' pains are and provide solution to those problems, and you'll get them, because they're going to need you. Once they need you, the next phase is just signing them up to work with you.
And as someone that trains people and equips people to be on stage and kind of building an audience, building a tribe, if you could implant one belief system that you have in their heads that they don't have at that point in time that can really make a difference when they're standing on that stage, what belief would you put into their brains?
I would say to them, focus on providing the solutions to the problems authentically and be real. Don't be afraid of being vulnerable, but be real with the vulnerability. I mean, for example, I always share one of my weaknesses is dealing with the death of my mum, 2003. And I've openly gone on stage and said, look, I was struggling to deal with that. I don't go on stage and say, oh, everything's going wonderful for me. That's an area of my life that's very, very it's challenging for me, and I'm getting help for it now. The reason why I'm sharing that is when you share that vulnerable side on stage, and I don't do it as a sales pitch, I'm being real, because I've tried to speak about my mother, and I broke down twice on stage in front of 200 people. And that was more about me. It wasn't about, Des, you need to go and deal with that with a therapist. So what I'm saying is sometimes people just want to get on stage just to share their story, like, for example, what I did with my mum. And I say to people, look, it's not about you, it's about the audience. And to be honest, they don't really care about what's happened with you. They want to know that how you can help them achieve what they want to achieve in their life. So I say to people, be real, let them be vulnerable. Don't, there's no point in showing your £1 million houses and all these cars, because some people will just switch off from seeing that. They want to know that you've been through a journey. They want to know, because they can relate to it. Yeah. And when you talk to people about your vulnerability, there's going to be a percentage of people in the room that's going to connect with that. Yeah. They're going to say, oh, well, how did you come out of that? I came out of a very painful divorce, and for that I became an award-winning relationship expert. How did I do that? I carried on working on myself and surrounding myself with the right people. I was having therapy and studied to be a coach at the same time. So that inspired me. So when I share that with people, they can say, oh, right, we can see your journey and how I got to where I got to.
Because everyone's seeking solutions, they're seeking change, and it's much more credible coming from someone that's already gone through that journey themselves, rather than, sometimes I feel like there's speakers out there that they're regurgitating, recycling other theories, other concepts, not necessarily their own experience. And that's what really people want. It's the experience of the change from being stuck and then actually making some kind of progress or getting through a tough period. Is there any other tips that you would share right now?
I'd say to people, look at your people that are doing that you'd like to do, and there's places that you can go to, like Ezine articles, Ezine, E-Z-I-E-N-E articles. It's a free reference site. It's like a Google for blogs and articles. and you can go in there and search people that are writing about anything positively to do with the business. How will that help you? Well, that'll give you an idea of titles for your events, your presentations, titles for webinars. You can connect with all the experts all over the world. There's millions of experts on there, and that's a good starting point for you if you're wondering, I don't know what I want to get into, but if you want to get into marketing, branding, children coaching, relationships, whatever it is, you'll pick up some ideas from there as well. And it's all free. So you can just search, and it will give you the opportunity to connect with experts that are doing what you want to do. Because I would say, before you're going to spend any money with anybody, decide what you want to do, have clarity. And sometimes you go to someone that's doing something and you may have a perception it's like that, but when you really get to know what they're doing, you may change your mind, and that way you may do something else. And that's a website I'd go to. I tell all my clients to go there. Keep working on yourself. Read a book a week if you can. We all daily, we all might do some stuff on social media. Cut out the social media and read a book read 10, 20 pages a day on the area that you'd like to work on. Just go to Amazon. There's loads of books on there. If you're stuck for money in relation to buying books, just go to YouTube, type in what you would like to know about, and type in a webinar on there as well, because I guarantee there's going to be people out there providing value related to that topic via a webinar. And also check out Udemy, udemy.com. There's lots of online digital products on there. So the reason why I say to that is, look at the people that are doing that you would like to do, because these guys are creating digital products that they're getting paid for as they're sleeping all over the world. And that's what you want to be doing. And that's what I do with help with my clients, to enable them to be paid as they're sleeping all over the world by, recording digital products. And keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and follow the people that you want to be associated with, that you want to know about, and keep believing in yourself. And sometimes you have to get rid of the dead wood around you, and that's including family and close friends, because if they're not helping you to get to where you want to get to in life, they don't just serve their purpose for what they want. So, that's what I would say.
Just to clarify, you're not endorsing murder there, are you?
No, well, it depends who it is. Of course not. What I mean by get rid of them, I mean just put them in for example, on a serious note, before I started coaching, I had lots of friends. We'd go out partying, we'd watch football and all those things, which were great. But, I love my football, but if there's a seminar on like today, my priority is coming to the seminar, and I'll have to record that. None of my friends come to any of my events. I'm not making them wrong, but as you start to work on yourself and develop and get into coaching, understand yourself a lot more, you look at things a lot differently. And they're not bad, we're just different. And that's how it is. And I have to just put them in a space. None of my family come to my events because I don't think they understand it. And they're in the same place as they was when I started coaching. And when I started coaching, it makes me look at myself a lot more differently, and surround yourself with you meet new friends. Me and you just connected today. Who knows where that may end up? So that's what.
But it's also interesting when you say that, because you're right. Some people don't go on the journey with you, and sometimes like they're well intentioned, warning and things like that. But someone gave me this metaphor, and it really kind of connected with me. They said, like, sometimes, like, if you've ever been on a train that's stationary and then the train next to you starts moving forward, it makes you feel like you're moving back. That's right. And with friends and family, if someone starts being successful, starts making changes going forward, they're still the same, but they feel like they're moving backwards. And sometimes that can kind of create either a bit of distance or alienation. So, there's no maliciousness in it. It's just kind of, it's kind of coming from different places. Des, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And just one final thing. Has anyone ever come to your events expecting to see the entertainer from the 1980s? Has that ever happened?
Oh, I've had this question so many times. I get it all the time. My mum, bless her, she had a sense of humour. I think when Des O'Connor was around, it was the equivalent of when Beckham, all the women loved Beckham. It was that kind of era. To be honest, no, they haven't come there expecting that. But I always pre-frame that in the beginning to say that he's not my dad, and when he's tanned, he's darker than me, and
he was quite orange, wasn't he?
He was orange. Funny enough, true story. When my original career was a driving instructor. I had Des O'Connor's driving school in South London, and I got married at the time. I moved to Ashford in Kent, And this guy came round and he was selling some direct mail selling. So he came into my house and I had a word with him, and I don't think I used his services. 2 weeks later, I've got received a solicitor's letter or a phone call from Des O'Connor's solicitor himself, trying to accuse me of passing off. Passing off in the legal terms is I'm using somebody else's name to be successful. And they demanded to know my accounts, and I must shut down my driving school and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow. So at the time I was really concerned, because I'm like, wow, what do I do? Because I don't know can he take it? Because this is new to me. I was a driving instructor then. So to cut a long story short, I found a web lawyer, and he basically sent them a nice firm email, firm letter that cost me £350 at the time, plus that, to basically bugger off and leave him alone. It's his name. There's no conflict of interest. He's not an entertainer like you. He has a driving school, and leave him alone. And we didn't hear anything back from then. So I'm sure he's aware of me, just not as much as I'm aware of him, but he is sort of aware of what I do. And listen, I'm not portraying to be what he is. I'm doing something completely different.
But if he ever attempts to get into your industry, it would be him passing off for you. That's so
right.
excellent.
Right.
Perfect. Thank you.